James Eagleman at Eagleman Long Range, and I want to talk about what scope do you want for your situation, how you hunt. Now, I'm a long range hunter and I actually consider myself an extreme long range hunter, so I want a scope that gives me the multiple maximum amount of travel. So let's kind of talk about this real quick. First of all, this is a first focal plane scope. Remember, with the second focal plane scope, you have to be at a certain power setting for each stadium line when you're holding wind to equal what it's supposed to. And once you learn the Eagleman wind technique, you'll actually realize that wind changes about every 3 to 6 seconds. So redialing the wind all the time is just not conducive for hunting, but it's not what this video is about. So this scope here, there's an erector tube inside of it where the crosshairs are. First focal plane's up here, second's back here. This is a Tractoric Eagleman scope, 34 millimeter. In general, when they say 30 millimeter, 34 millimeter, 1-inch tube, or 26 millimeter, the amount of millimeter is similar to the weight of the scope. So your 26 millimeters or 1 inch are gonna weigh in at 26, 24 ounce. 30 millimeters are gonna be about 30 ounces. 34 millimeters are gonna be 34 to 36 ounces in general, and they do make bigger ones, but back on track. If I'm a long range hunter and I'm gonna be shooting extreme ranges, not just for hunting, target, coyotes, prairie dogs, and I need a lot of travel, then I want a 34 millimeter. The scope has 160 minutes or 47 mils. And then if I got a 30 millimeter or a little bit smaller scope in general, I've got 80 to 100 minutes of travel. And then if I got a 1-inch tube in general, I'm in at 40 minutes of travel. So let's talk about what dealers or scope manufacturers don't tell you. If it has 40 minutes of travel, you don't have 40 minutes usable. When you mount the scope on the rifle, whether you got a 20 MOA rail or not, like this Terminus Action, then you're gonna lose about 30 minutes of travel. Sometimes 25 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. It just depends on your scope, your barrel setup. Now, this is a Terminus Action benchmark barrel with a McMillan stock. These are my school guns, and they're excellent, and they do really well as far as having barrel to bore alignment, or in other words, bore alignment to the receiver. But again, not what we're here to talk about. So let's kind of back up here. You're gonna lose, just tell yourself 30 minutes. Manufacturers of scopes don't tell you that because, again, they're there to sell you product. Oh, this scope has 100 minutes. No, it doesn't. It has about 66 usable. If you buy a Nightforce NX8, you're gonna end up with maybe 66 usable minutes out of those 80 to 90 minutes, okay? If you buy a Tractoric, like this one here, with 160 minutes of travel, you're gonna end up with about 110, maybe 120. So keep that in mind when you're buying a scope based on how you hunt. Number one, how much travel do you need based on how far you plan on shooting? Number two, how heavy do you want the scope on top of your hunting rifle? If it's just a hunting rifle, you probably want a 30 millimeter tube. That's gonna give you 60 something minutes of travel in general, and it's gonna be a 28 to 30 ounce scope. If you're like me and you wanna shoot way out there past 1,600 yards, then I wanna make sure I've got a 34 millimeter. I will deal with the extra weight of the basically 34 to 36 ounces because of all the travel I got in it. If I'm only shooting 500 yards, yeah, you can get it like a Vari X1 Leopold, Vari X2, Vari X3, whatever, with a little 1-inch tube, or the Swarovskis that are gonna get you out to 500, 600 yards max, okay? All right, so hopefully this makes sense. Again, when you think about your rifle scopes, make sure you understand weight and tube diameter. Tube diameter is gonna be travel. Take the overall travel, subtract 30 minutes, and that's kind of where you're gonna be at. Hopefully this makes sense. You guys have a great day, and hunting season's right around the corner. Come see me at LongRangeLR.com, Eagleman Long Range Hunting School, here in Whiteley, Michigan at Legends Ranch.